I'm looking forward to some of those potatoes and stuff. Don't mess around over there, okay? I want you guys to focus today and pay close attention to the things that are really related to your income versus the illusions that everyone is giving you out there. Most don't know the actual answer. Some have gotten lucky, which means that as the Bible teaches us that time and chance happen to them all, some have just joined a company at a specific prime time and made a lot of money once. And then when they talk to you, they indicate to you that they do that all the time and that they call themselves the big L, leader, right? And if I can tell you anything about success, I can tell you this. When you have the substance, it can be taken from you. You can be knocked from your pedestal and you will find your way back. When it is time and chance, it was just that good thing. You know, one time I made one. How many of you guys have noticed that? You have some people, you know good and well, one time they made like, oh my goodness, they did like, they had a $30,000 month. There's a guy who did 100,000. Now that's 6 years ago, right? But you know, no one ever knows. What I want to talk to you about is the thing that gives you that consistency that you deserve to experience, that then will minimize your race. It won't matter if you're from Israel, from Uganda, or if you're from Kazakhstan, or if you're from Slovenia, if you're from North America or South America. I mean, too often we are duped into believing our limitations come from anywhere outside of us when really it's coming from inside of us. And if you're going to be able to get past this, you're going to have to know how to step back from the hype and see what measures up. Because I'm going to tell you here, with what I'm going to tell you, it's going to sound too simple for some of you. Some of you are going to reject it. And all I can tell you is that this is how I have personally built teams before I ever became a provider. And not only does it work, but the people you connect with when you build this way, you never lose them. It doesn't matter what any other company does. They stay with you, they love you, and you can love them when you do it right. So now, is it possible that someone today in Tampa, Florida, where you live, Tommy, can become successful enough to make 6 figures in a month or do it consistently? I'm here to tell you, absolutely. But what about me? What about those of us in the UK? Is it possible, knowing what we've been through with our country's currency, what we've been through some of the terrorism, is it possible? Yes, it's very possible. For my friends who are in Kenya today, and those of you here from Uganda, and I'm trying to see where I know where people are from. I'm just reaching here. Wherever you're from, I want you to hear the song I'm going to sing to you. And the song I'm going to sing to you is that you can do it, but you cannot do it if you don't use the math, if you don't use things that was given to us by God for you to be successful. Yes, Vancouver. Thanks, Robert. Yes, certainly. Appreciate that, Rob. Now, if you're here today and you'd like to know as a leader how to establish that kind of success, so you don't have to work your butt off the rest of your life. See, when you lead properly, the movement that you lead will produce it for you and them. When you follow the fake, when you follow the fakeness that someone tells you the car they drive makes them a leader, or that they one time made a lot of money, or they have something else in front of you, an illusion, that unfortunately is something that will interfere and disrupt the ability for you to be successful. And then you'll be able to blame your president. You'll be able to blame being a woman or being a man. You'll be able to blame being black. You'll be able to blame being from Russia, right? I just want to give you the principles and break it down. So if you're ready for that kind of success and you want to know what this is, even though it's simple, even though you may believe you've heard it before, If you're ready for that, type and say, Dwayne, I'm ready. I'm ready.
I'm ready.
Okay, good deal. I like that. I lost my peeps up in here. I'm proud to tell you today, I have not talked to, by the way, I'm gonna use this, my good friend, I call her my sister, Deborah, who's here. She's coming, I'm probably embarrassing her right now. I don't mean to do that. But I'm in Pennsylvania, the town, in this town I was born in, and I'm here visiting my grandchildren. But this woman, I met her I don't remember where I met you, but I know you came to my living room where I was actually presenting a business opportunity. These guys won't even know it. I'm trying to teach them that I practice what I preach. But one of the reasons that we know each other is because I was doing my business in the way I'm getting ready to teach everyone how it should be done. Now watch this. Deborah, do you have a microphone? I got to do this before I start. I want to don't worry, I won't embarrass you. I mean, I'm sure you won't be embarrassed anyway. You're so strong and so dynamic. I don't think that could happen anyway. Deborah, are you here?
Hi, hi everybody.
Hey, good. I'm glad you're here, Deborah. I want to use this as an example. If I'm wrong, please forgive me. Did I meet you in my living room? Did I meet you somewhere else first?
We met somewhere else, but I was in your living room.
Darn it. Okay, well still, how did you get to my living room?
Well, through various and sundry trainings that you did, and through your brothers and through church, and
okay,
we had so many multiple connections.
Okay, but I did hear you say some trainings, right?
Yes, you did some training. You were doing some trainings for people, and you were teaching on. You had quite a few courses at that time, or that you were teaching on.
Right. Now, whatever business I was with, even though they went out of business or they're not around anymore, I want these people to hear this before I do the training. Does that matter to you as far as our relationship, as far as you and me? I'm curious.
No, not at all. Not at all. Not at all. Our relationship has continued, not just with you, but with your brothers. We're friends. It was such a delight. We hadn't talked in quite a while, but we just
15 years. I want them to know the truth so they know this is not a dog and pony show. I want them to get the fact that it's independent of the companies you guys are joining. It has nothing to do with that if you want it to be sustainable and long lasting. So this is beautiful, Deborah. So,
yeah, it's definitely beautiful. And I say the same thing with people, and whatever I'm doing, I said, I'm not with the project, I'm with you. And so if you're if you're a baker today and you decide to be a candlestick maker tomorrow, it doesn't matter to me. I'm going to be with you. And that's how
if their vision is worthy, if their vision and their practices are worthy.
Yeah? They are worthy as a person. And I'm with them. So whoever it is. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Deborah. It's a pleasure. By the way, it's the first time I've seen you in 15 years. I haven't seen you, so we haven't aged a bit. I'm all white and you stayed the same.
Well, I'll pay you later. I didn't know that there was compensation involved in this conversation, but I will pay you for that.
Okay, sorry, I got you. Boom. All right, thank you so much. I'm going to go ahead and get started and meet you out first. Okay.
See you.
All right. But I don't know how to meet. Don't leave though. I want you to stay here if you can.
I'm going to stay here. I'm just trying to get you on my camera, on my computer, as opposed to my phone.
Okay, everyone. So I want you to do this now. I'm going to break it down. I understand this, that the success that you can experience, it is so much deeper than the hype and the hoopla. And it's not duplicatable if it's based on intellect. It just isn't, okay? It's not going to be duplicatable if it's based on having a lot of money. Everyone doesn't. If you want something to be duplicatable, it must involve things that everyone has and everyone can do, or most have or most can do. Does that make sense? If it does, type in the number 1. I want you to get this because I want you to understand I have not strayed from this model. It's the same one I used 15 years ago. It's the same one I use today, even with my corporations. And it's something that you can do and you can apply. So remember what I said. If it involves everyone having $50,000 to get started, you're probably gonna have a failing business because hardly a small portion of the population will ever see that in their lifetime. So you're losing right there. The second thing I want to say is that you will, is that it must be something that anyone can do. So if you have to actually have a PhD, be a doctor or a lawyer, you have to have some sort of special be a techie, well, you're not gonna have a successful business because it's something, those are things that only a small portion of the population get to do. Here's what I did. I've incorporated a model that may be offensive for some of you, but it is what it is. I call it the Jesus model. This is a model where I break down the phases of business into 3 different areas. Now, there's a lot more phases of business, but the 3 that are important for those of you that work from home are going to be broken down into these categories. I'm going to mute some of you out because I think we got some new people to come on. Just a moment, guys. I'm probably going to make one of you guys a partial host to help me with that because go ahead and mute your phone if you can for me. Mute your microphone for me so I can keep moving. Thanks, whoever it is. Now, as I tell you these phases that are broken down, if you don't write them right, you're just actually being entertained. I don't want to entertain you. I want you to get them down to a science. So the 3 Ds of your strategy are going to look like this. And I'm going to break it down and tell you how I've practiced them. The first thing I want you to get is that you must first discover the leaders or the front line of people that should be in your business. You don't just do it. You do it as soon as possible. The front line. Can someone meet? I don't want to keep toggling between these things. I will, because I don't want anyone to miss. Just a second, I'm going to mute some lines. Going to help you out. Now, back to it. You must discover the front line. What does that front line mean, Dwayne? Well, it depends what company you're in, but there are some formulas that work for every company, right? And you find that front line, which is typically a minimum of 4, as many as 10, but trust me, it's overkill to have 10. I'm talking about a formula that will lead to thousands of people with you. A formula that includes something that anyone can do. You realize something. The average networker will never see 10 people in the same year. So that's not really duplicatable if you choose 10. The average will average be 3 or 4. So if you select to have 4 in your front line, you know that many of your people will get close. And here's where the duplication comes in. I have a distinct advantage because of my bout with biology and chemistry and seeing how viruses and bacteria grow. They grow through duplication through these means, not of large numbers at first. It's just small numbers that continually to grow exponentially. So you identify the front line. Here's what it looks like. In your company, this is simple stuff. It's like, who's going to go with me? Who's going? Is it 4? Is it 6? Is it 5? Is it 10? Who's going with me? You do that first. You know what happens? Here's the mistake. This first part of this first D of the 3D model is called discover. What a lot of you do wrong, you've been duped, lied, and cheated by someone telling you, before you join, go get me a list of all your people. They want to make sure that they can leverage you instead of you creating your own front line. Anybody here ever been told that? Hey, look, you're going to start, go get a list of all your people, get them to me. Then you turn over your relationships to a third party that's not even trustworthy with it. You want to make a lot of money in this stuff? Don't do that. Don't. I don't care who asks you. If I ask you, right, tell me to go jump in the lake. Stick one of your fingers up at me. But don't let me have you give me your people. Relationships has taken you decades to build. To me, a stranger, and all I want is money. You want to make this thing work long term? So it grows when you take a month off, you take 2 months off to go take care of someone you love or a family member. You want it to work. Let's build this front line. Don't give it away. So how's that happen? I've given you all a model. If you didn't know this, because of a touch of Asperger's and what they call autistic spectrum disorder, which are supposed to be limitations, I see things in patterns. I've told you, you plus two, them plus two will go a long way with most comp plans. You plus two, them plus two. If you do you plus two, that means you've identified 2 people that are going with you to the top. And you get them, you say, listen, I'm committing to a minimum of 1 year. All I'm asking you is 1 year, go with me. Let's make this movement happen. And it's going to start with actions. When you create a message like that and you genuinely mean it, it's not difficult to find 2 people who will do it. Most don't get people who are willing to invite them to be a part of a movement. Most people say, get a invite to click on their link and spend money. Go get a list of all your people. You can be different from the start by genuinely inviting people to go to the mountaintop with you. And what does that look like? Hey, I'm saying on this slide, November, let me tell you this. This is how long I've been doing this. This slide presentation is from 7 years ago. All I did, that's why it's so ugly in its color. It's not really done with anything fancy. The first time I did it, I think it was green and white. I did it back 15 years ago, back before I met Deborah. Discover who they are. And here's how it works. Let me just go ahead and tell you. Brenton, are you there, buddy? Brenton Isaacs. Brenton, are you there, buddy? I don't hear you. Unmute yourself real quick. I'm going to show something. All right, okay. Okay, Brenton.
Yeah, I'm here.
Let me ask you a question, Brenton. If I come to you and tell you that I am going to move everything aside and make my business my priority because I intend on creating multiple 6 figures for me and my family, and I would like to invite you to come along. For me, I'm putting everything aside. I'm not going to any games. I'm not going to spend time surfing Netflix. I'm building something great. And I'm looking for the commitment of just 4 people. I want to know if you're one of them. If somebody invites you to something like that, would you like to go along? He doesn't know. It's okay. It's not a trick question. You're okay, bro. It's not a trick question. Don't feel bad. I want you guys to get this. Human beings are all alike. We all like to be a part of something that's great, something that's going somewhere. All of us. We all love to hear our own name. We all like to see our name in written somewhere that's in general public population. You get an opportunity to show people, I intend on walking across stage at the next convention. I'd love for you to be with me. When you build a front line like that, it doesn't even take a week, right? I'm being straight with you. So when you invite someone, say, listen, here's the commitment I'm asking you for. I'm asking you for at least just 2 things, 2 or 3 things. One of them is every week there's a training we're doing so we can get better at this, so we can be great businessmen. You see, we've worked in the corporate world so long, we don't have some of the business acumen that's needed. So the first thing I'm going to ask you, if you're going to come along with me to the top, where we're going to make this kind of money, I'm going to ask you to commit to 1 year of this training. That's the way I built mine. I'm not talking about what I heard. I'm talking about something that I've done and that I do. The second thing is I'm committed. I just told my wife we're committed to the highest possible level that we can afford without hurting our family. And I got to do it. I can't tiptoe. I can't ask someone to pay it. I won't even accept someone paying it for me. We want it to work for us. And we know that we can't. I'm going to ask you to do the same thing. That's what we're going to do. Now, by the way, this discovery process doesn't take all that much time at all. It takes very little time. It's not where your money comes from. The reason some of you hate to recruit is because you've been taught you have to spend the rest of your life recruiting. You didn't know it's just the beginning. You had no idea. So I'm getting commitments from a financial level, from a training and development level. And then lastly, I'm going to ask them to be, watch how cool this is, to be committed enough to whatever it takes. Let's do it together. Let's you and I commit. Let's meet each week so we can figure out what else we need to make sure we're making these bonuses. We're getting these payments. We want to have a business in profit from the first month. Now, me personally, I barely get might get a wedding invitation every couple of years. Most human beings don't get invited to things that are powerful and moving. They get invited to be used, and that's why most of you are turned off towards it. You think recruiting is this ugly thing you have to do and force sell a car to somebody, and it's not that at all. Discover the front line. What is it? In the course of 1 year, you really don't need more than 6, but you can start off with 2 to 4. That'll take it, that'll make a, I want you to get this. I'm going to turn off the slides because I want you all to be able to follow me. Watch this now. As a biologist, I learned this. I learned in order for a disease to get carried away with me, it just has to affect one cell. And that one cell, when it divides, becomes 2. It's not even threatening yet. But by the end of the week, that becomes thousands. And it could destroy my immune system as I know it. I had to learn to create a team like a virus replicates. Here's how the virus replicates, Tommy. The virus is like this. I sneezed in my hand. Achoo! I'm at the airport. And I go to the phone booth and I call Aunt Agatha before I leave to let her know I love her. You walk up behind me on your way to New Zealand and you pick up the phone and talk to your wife before you leave. Then you shake the hands of the guy that carried your suitcase who was actually transitioning to Jamaica. And I want you to note, before the end of the week, people on different continents are being affected because of this growth. And when you grow a team this way, just by the right discovering, where am I going to start? Some of you have messed up. You make a front line, the first person that has a pulse and a heartbeat, that's you want to put in your front line. You didn't even know what you were doing. Now the front line, that's the real deal. I know so-and-so, they communicate pretty well. The people respect him or her. They will be great at this. When you start discovering who are the right people, and you put them in first, it's amazing what you get. So imagine this. Some of you are thinking right now, you know what's crazy? Ever since that real bad program I was in, I don't talk to these other people that would be good anymore because I'm embarrassed to buy it. Well, give them something to respect. You see, you were selling them another program before. You were never selling them you. Did you hear what Deborah said? She wasn't even concerned about whatever program it was. She was buying into the vision of the visionary, of the person. Did you catch that? And this was not fake. I am telling you that I have not talked to this wonderful woman for 15 years. And today, she's here not because of the company that she may have been presented. She's here because it was a business. And watch how powerful this is. The same business that she joined is still in operation. That's my own business. You guys, I told you weeks ago, months ago, you are the business, not the provider. The provider's a provider. What's your company name? What is that? You're tired of losing people to these fake companies, only to have the heartbreaks. Become something better for them. Discovery. Now here's that discovery process. Me personally, I want committed people in mind. I don't care about the talented. And this is I don't know if you have any questions about this before I go to the next D, but here's the deal. I can get further with a committed person than you can with the most talented. So you might we're looking for someone who can build websites and they're really, really good with cryptocurrency. Those kind of people, typically know-it-alls, are the debacle and the slow up to progress in such businesses. It doesn't mean don't get someone talented, but their commitment is more powerful. Now, let's see if you have any questions about this part, because there's 2 more D's to get to. Discovery is so important, but it should only take up about 15% of your time in total by the end of the year. 15, not 75, not 100, just a little bit of your time, and literally up to 15, not even 15. You know what's interesting? Jesus had a 3-year ministry. He spent this much time recruiting. He got him. He went over and said, hey, to you, Brenton, he said, hey, you, follow me. He went to Deborah and said, hey, you, Fisher, you like fishing? Come with me. Wasn't debating, wasn't trying to prove, how do I know that you're there? How do I know it's not a scam? Wasn't happening. So here I ask you, are there any questions? You can go ahead and ask it about this idea. Why is commitment more powerful than talent or expertise? So I'm telling you, some of you yourself think that you're an expert and you've been stuck. Every time you go somewhere, you cross your arms, you have to tell everybody how it should work and what they should do, and you've never built anything yourself. So here's the question. Do you get that? If you do, I'll move on. Type in number 2 if you got it. If you have any questions, you might want to open your mic or type it in. Okay. We're going to dance. Discovery. Some of you are only looking for the cosmetically beautiful, and you're missing the point. You had no idea that growing a powerful, booming team has little to nothing to do with cosmetics or the outward beauty, as if you will, or the vanity behind such things. And that's where I come in, because I get to show you differently. So let's go ahead and do this a little bit. Discover. We got that down. The first D. Now, my name is Dwayne, but I'm none of the D's, okay? So you know, I don't have anything to do. I'm not one of the D's. I've actually pulled this and plugged this. This is something I get from the biblical trainings that I take. So now, this should take up approximately 15%, up to 15% of your time as a networker identifying this. And here's what I'm going to tell you. I personally, I'm a nutcase, so I wouldn't want it to take more than a day, but I wouldn't want it to take more than 7 to 10 days at the most, because it's the least important part. It really is. It is the least. So you don't have to take all this time. You just have to be, some of the reason you can't get someone to commit, you're not committed. You joined 10 things in the last 6 months, and you think that they won't commit to you. They don't want to be a part of something that's going nowhere. You've already showed people year after year you're going nowhere. You're just a walking joining machine. We call this a professional joiner. You know what? I have the same thing. I'm not going to join someone that's not going anywhere. If I know a guy or a gal, and every 2 months they're pitching something new to me, I know they're not going anywhere. So yes, they're going to have to beg, borrow, steal, persuade, and everything else, and maybe make me some incentive offerings to get me to join, and even pay for it for me, because I don't want anything to do with it. Has anyone ever wondered? You wonder, like, you thought maybe there was an issue. Hey, they think the company is a scam. No, they think you're a scam. I know this doesn't feel good to hear it, but somebody's got to tell you they never had a problem with the industry or that thing. It's you. If what you're doing is so great, why do you change it every 2 months? What's wrong? Why are the last 3 things you've given me in trouble with the law, or gone out of business, or taken off after I've given my money to it? That's why they're not joining you. Did you not know? So don't spend all day recruiting people into everything. Spend some time in this next D. This is the most powerful unit. Not unit. This is the most powerful term. Looks like this. Stay with me. Okay, once you've discovered, I'm moving too fast. Okay, here we go. Once you've discovered your front line, you must begin ongoing training to ensure they, watch this now, they can do exactly what you've done. It's not duplication when everybody's doing something different. I love to watch teams. You got one guy over here on Instagram doing this. They're the same team. You got lines over here doing this. Same team, something different. Then they got the new guy that came in, never even logged in their back office. They're promoting a contest. Then I got another guy over here saying, listen, you got to get to this new currency. It's amazing. You can make it right away. Everybody's got a different song, and nobody knows why there's no beautiful music. It is the part you hate the most. Some of you can't even stand the few minutes it takes to be here today to learn how to do it. The training and development is what differentiates all individuals in our world, always has been. The one you love to get to with the most has learned the most. They've taken the time to develop into something that the rest of us long to be. So if all you learned was how to log in and set up your wallet, you teach it. Now listen, if you're too busy to learn it, you got some serious problems that are going to keep repeating themselves. And you're going to need to keep joining everything that comes down the pike. The second thing under this D, your training can't have limits. It should include things you've been able to accomplish. And it does include limits. If I have to go get a 4-year degree, that's going to include some limitations. Your training should be about the simple. It is the complex things that man uses to deceive us and to cause us to lose. It is the simple things that God has given us from birth that we can adapt to, that we can connect with. Remove the limitations. If someone doesn't have Zoom, it's okay. Write it up. Do what I've seen the Freedom Team do. Put it on a PDF. Keep it simple. Someone lives in a country, we only have 3G. How can we learn it? Give them the recording if you have to. Send it so they can watch it on their phone. If they don't have the ability to do that, help them set up so they can do it in one location. Find a way to ensure development. Stop over-recruiting people into something that is chaotic and going nowhere. Do you want to know why? I want to know if someone can tell me if you want to know why. Because I got to tell you this. It's going to be heartbreaking. I said it last week and the week before. But today I'm going to make it real. I'm going to make it make good sense to you. Would you like to know why? Robert? Tommy? Who else is here? I can't see everyone. I only see 4 names up at the top. The rest of you I can't see. Joe? Anybody want to know why? If not, maybe I'm talking to myself. Yeah. Okay, you do want to know why. Good. Okay, here it goes. I think I was talking to James Wiggins last week, and perhaps Noreen. I explained to you about my family dynamics, and I want you to pay close attention. We're actually going to go see a geneticist, my wife and I. We're going to go see the pastor. We're going to see special doctors from overseas. We want to have more kids. We want to have more kids. We already have 3. The firstborn has not had his 16th birthday yet, but he's already in trouble, imprisoned for already murdering 2 people. That's our oldest. Our middle child has been put into a boys' home before his 10th birthday because no matter what school he's gone to, he's viciously attacked the young girls in the classroom in ways that are inappropriate. That's our middle child. Our youngest has found a way to cause harm to people. He's not even 6, and he's caught 4 homes on fire where people were badly burned and hurt. Children and youth have come and taken our children away from us, and the government has them. So my wife and I are out trying to make more. What do you have to tell us? Anyone, someone tell me what you would advise us. What do you advise us to do in this situation? I'm not going to start again until you tell me. I also need to know if you're actually paying attention. I'm trying to help you grow your team.
Well, I would probably suggest not having
No more.
kids right now.
Wait, what did you
My
say? Who said
personal
that? What did
opinion.
you say and who said it?
This is Jackie.
Hi, Jackie. How you doing, dear?
I'm fine.
Okay. What would you advise my wife and I? Because we want help. We want to have some kids.
I would advise you right now not to have any more children. Not right now.
Okay. You're being very sweet because I would advise me never to have children.
Well,
Okay.
I was just going to say, perhaps get some counseling. Yes.
Yeah, counseling. I got another C that we could use. Probably need some castration going on over here, for real. Someone else tell me, what would you do? I want to know.
Okay.
Because,
Hello, Sean.
yes, please.
All right, cool. I would like to say that you missed out on some training for your kids. Hence the reason why they're in that situation now.
That's why they're there. That's right. But what would you
So
advise?
what you need to do is have more kids at this time. Try and do it right.
Yes.
Put things in place.
Yes. Thank
I
you.
think that's what. All right.
Here's something else for you guys. I want you to catch this now. I want everyone not to pay close attention. This is going to be one of the greatest blessings to you in your life. I want to show you that what I just described to you describes what's going on in this crypto movement. It's going on in this Forex movement. I want you to see what we're doing wrong as a population of people. And then I want you to figure, I want to know what advice you're gonna give to us, to all of us. So let me help you out. Many of you here today are guilty of that. All you do is want to recruit and have new people come in. They are telling the wrong story. Some of them are cheating other people. They join you in the morning. They join someone else at night. They are wild and rampant. You don't even have them anymore. They joined you Monday. They're already on someone else's team by Friday. And I'm going to tell you something that Nixon, I think that was that you, Nixon? Who was it that told me about the training? Someone mentioned training. Who was that?
It was me, Sean. Sean Jack.
Thank you, Sean. Listen, you are correct. But here's what's really sad about this. Many here today are guilty of this. All you do is recruit people to nothing, and you don't know why you're not building wealth. You're making a little bit of money here and there to get by, but I got news for you. You would make more on a job. If you're not going to do this stuff right, go home. Don't do it. Build it correctly. Deborah would tell you, I would not. I recruit people, but I spend much of my time training, developing. Because that's how you grow up fast. That's how it goes to thousands. Some of you go, by the time you get to 1,000, you only have 400 because all the rest dropped off. You don't even know why. You think it's because they're lazy. They're not lazy. They came in hungry and you're not feeding them. You don't have to become an expert. You can plug them into the corporate training. You can plug them into training that already exists that you found on YouTube, but do not leave your people naked, unclothed when the winter comes for their business. That's what's wrong with it. I see it all day and it scares me. I see someone just had a sign up and at the mall shopping, showing everybody how much money he made. You got another one showing, goes and takes pictures in front of the Rolls Royce or the Bentley, showing people I'm making all. Those are some sorry ways to recruit someone, because as soon as they get in, they're giving you the money, then they're stuck. You didn't know, but you manipulate them through the false future that you're living. And then when they get in, they want help. They don't know what to do. And all of a sudden, now they think the entire industry is a scam. They don't just think Dwayne Golden's a scam. They'll think you're one too. Because this false lying, this crap that's going on out there, you can be a part of the new culture that I'm trying to teach you now. And that is, be a person of substance. Be so good at it, they don't even recognize that you're a woman. Be so great at it, they don't care that you are black or blue or yellow or orange. Be so substantive because of your development that the only things that matters is you're a person of results. Martin Luther King used to call it the content of character. Judge a man by his content of his character, not the color of his skin. You get to be a part of the movement that can show the world how it's done. Are you ready to be a person like that? If you are, give me number 3. I am mind boggled at everyone no one wants to train. Everyone just wants to sign another person up. Has anyone here ever signed up for something and paid $10,000 or more? And after you signed up, it's like someone just slept with you and they forgot your number. They didn't want to talk to you anymore. Anybody ever go through that? You pay 20, pay 25,000, 30,000. I have met some people in my position who've given up all of their retirement. Now they're in their 70s, following behind this false recruitment process that people call no recruiting. The guy that told them no recruiting got them to pay all their retirement only to leave them in a pickle. And that pickle looks like this. Now that I've paid, I can see them on their own social media bragging that they just made another $50,000. And now I'm out of the money, but they look like they're a genius and I have nothing. You guys can't be blind. You got to be able to see this. You can be a part of it changing, because this stuff I'm telling you now, the development process, that's why you're here. So you can be different. So you can have expectation of results. You know, everything else is luck. If you join it because someone else said they made $300,000 last month, you're hoping to get lucky. You're not getting there because you're learning something, you're doing something you can reproduce. All duplication requires it. You see, in order to reproduce children, they're gonna have to get some of my genes and my wife's genes. They're not gonna get their own thing. And when they come into the world, if I'm gonna reproduce what I am to the community, I have to teach them something. Otherwise, they're gonna end up robbing you, right? And they're gonna end up robbing somebody else, or, you know, God knows. So what else in this D? Recruiting process, right? It's about recruiting. It's interesting. It's the development on how to do it, which is not, it's the kind of recruiting that isn't even recruiting. It's when you're the right person, you're getting people to come on board, committed to you and your vision of where you're going. And then you're teaching the product knowledge. What are the products? What is the product? Is the product that I'm going to be better? Is the product an actual product that I drink? Is it something? Is it some software? What is it? Is the compensation plan? Some of you is like, what do I train in? Well, do you know how the 1x2 works? Teach them. Do you know how your system works? Teach them. This should take about 70% of your time. 70. You know what's wrong? Most of you, if you're going to do something related to your business, it starts off with you surfing on social media. Next thing you know, you forgot why you were there, so you end up watching a whole bunch of stuff and you didn't get anything done today. Others of you, you make a post. Make a post and you feel like you've done your work. Your money is going to come from this D, this middle D. My income comes from development. Not just my development, because I insist on learning stuff new every day. There's not days going to go by where I'm not going to have my audio books, my written books, my blogs, my articles. I'm going to learn. So it's what pays me. I've got to protect this. Some of you haven't begun to invest into this, and you think you have an income issue, or you think some company cheated you when really you cheated you. You need to develop. And whatever you develop, and watch this now, you're only responsible to develop people in the things that you've learned. If you're here and you know how your compensation plan works, type in the number 4. If you're here and you know how your compensation plan works, type in the number 4. What I want to see now, if you know that, then you already know you have something to teach. Okay, you're typing it in. Good. Okay, that's beautiful. So if you're here and you understand how to sign up or how to create a wallet, type in the number 5. I want you guys to get this. Some of you think you have to be camera friendly or you have to be able to speak without an accent. It has nothing to do with it. The person that you are going to be developing is just hungry to be good. They want to have success. And if you spend 70% of your time doing this, the 3 kids that you have will become something so fantastic, you may find out that you don't need to have more kids because they're going to have them. Ooh, Dwayne, did you say that? Yep. If you spend 70% of your time with the ones you have, the 3 kids that you do have, you might find out you don't need to have any more children because these 3 may make 9. Did I go over anybody's head? Because I can't tell. When y'all get quiet, I know you're probably just contemplating. I just need to know that you're following the lead that I'm putting before you so you can be able to experience some of this stuff. Please tell me if you get it. And if you do, give me something that you do get about it. What is your aha moment from this? Because I didn't get to the last D, and you deserve to at least relish, if you will, or marinate a little bit on this one. Don't everybody answer. You know, sometimes I wonder if I come off as being a little abrasive. I don't want to. Oh, you do get it. I got it. I get it. Okay. Good. Can you see that maybe that's what you've been doing or have done in the past, or what your team has been doing? Everybody's on a recruiting spree and doing nothing with the people you have. I'm going to tell you something that's disturbing. Where if I see you recruiting so much, and all your people going out on the internet just randomly asking, hey, how do I do this? When you're congratulating the new person who just came in, that is like a mother bringing home a new baby and they got one at home that's going through malnutrition. And the kid at home is like, why? Why? Why do you need another one? You're not even doing anything with me. Your money, they're not telling you this. Your money's coming from the development of who you are. Let me tell you something. One of the greatest things that ever happened to me was my upline not only didn't pay my way, my upline wouldn't even start to help me much unless I went to the training. Deborah, my upline is my brother Myron. Back when I started, he was my upline. And he said, do you want to be good? Don't miss the trainings. I'm not just give you money because I have some. You could be great, Dwayne, but what are you going to do with it? You need to build your front line. I'm like, crap. I had to go out and get my front line. Then he said, you need to help them to develop theirs. I didn't know any better. I wanted to become an area manager. I wanted to help those guys to build their front line. Next thing you know, oh my gosh, within 2 or 3 months, I'm talking to thousands of people on conference calls, and I'm flying around within 6 months to a year, I'm flying around the country, around the world to teach people. It's amazing how fast it happens. It wasn't from the recruitment. As a parent, you know, many of you know, I am in Florida with my grandchildren. I now have 5 grandchildren. We only had 3. Look at the exponential growth. We already have more than we actually had ourselves. And now these guys aren't even done. They're just getting ripping. My youngest he doesn't get married till next year. He'll start ripping out the kids. You have so much responsibility in this thing of your money. You really can't ever afford to blame another person for your lack of success. You really can't. So what's the first D? Someone tell me. I'm not going to put it on the screen yet. What's the first D? Type it in. So what's the first D? Someone know it? You can open up your mic or you can type it in.
Isn't it discover?
Yes. Who said that?
Jackie.
Okay. I can't see. I see a couple of names in a picture. I can't tell. Sorry, Jackie. Yes.
That's okay.
Okay. The first thing, discover what, Jackie?
Well, you're trying to see, I think you talked about 3 things. I'm multitasking. So I know you said you wanted to talk to people about joining your movement, give you a 1-year commitment.
Yes.
Somebody else can help me out.
You're right.
Yeah,
Those
for your
are
front
how you do it, right? That's how you do it. You don't actually have to take a picture in front of a Maserati. You could literally just tell people, here's what we're doing. And if you can literally slow down long enough not to always pitch people all these programs and literally make it about you, you're going to win. Because when you ask them to come with you, they don't even know what the company name is and they don't care. Does that make sense, Jack?
Yes, sir. It makes sense.
The second D, someone tell me the second D.
Second D is development.
Yes, that's right. And it's, watch this now, it's going to take up the bulk of your time. Yes. And you're right, Robert. Honesty is the key. By the way.
That wasn't Robert, that was Miss Miles.
No, Robert said, I believe honesty is the key. You said, you're so funny. You said development. I know, Miss Miles, why are you tripping?
But we are paying attention to you, Dwayne. I mean, we may not be necessarily answering you, but you're giving us some great tips that we're actually taking it in. And I know I'm taking notes. Okay. But it's making a lot of sense. And now I see why I personally haven't been successful at some of the things I've been doing, because for one, when you did the first day talking about discovery, mm-hmm. I wasn't looking for the first 6 because that's not what I was taught. And you know, following people and enjoying things. I was just trying to get my 2. I mean, so you're making so many dynamic points till we're just like, oh, wow, never thought about it like that, at least not for me.
Well, you still can get 2 because you could do it in increments. You know, you could do it 3 times. So you're not wrong there, but you have to really have the focus enough that if you could see, all of you, if you could see that it isn't that's not a 1 year, 6 month to 1 year plan, right? Think
right, and that was the one thing you pointed out, to get that commitment from people. And that's a commitment that I haven't gotten because I myself didn't realize that's something that I need to do. So that was another point that you made it, to get a commitment for training, a commitment for a financial level. And you just bringing so many things home for me as a person that's trying to be an entrepreneur, to get it right this time, saying, hey, I'm going to be successful at you know, this particular company here, that it just seems like we're just being quiet, but we're actually listening, Dwayne. Just want to let you know that.
Thank you so much. Ms. Miles, I want to say this to you. Well, since you're verbal, I need to be verbal just so I can get feedback from it. Let me help you out here. Remember, have you guys heard me say you can't leave where you won't go and you can't teach what you don't know?
Right.
So some of you, your problem isn't commitment, it's just that you haven't committed yet. Some of you actually just got started to get your feet wet. You paid $25 or $50 and you think you did something, which is the absence of commitment. That's like going out with a guy who only wants a date and wants to sleep at his house every Friday, but he doesn't really want to make a commitment. Do you get what I'm saying? I'm being honest, I don't know how to say it any other way. So the real challenge is, when you commit, you're going to be able to attract committed people. I attracted Deborah because you know what's funny? I used my last. I missed out on probably an insurance payment or something else just to be able to go all in. But it was easy to attract people because I was asking them to do something that I did. It's one of the first rules of parenthood. You lead by example. So a lot here are spending more money on cigarettes per month, and they're spending more money on entertainment each month than they have ever put into their business in 1 month. And so when you ask people to commit, they can smell if you're not committed. Sometimes they can smell you're not committed because they already got an email from you 5 days ago about something different. They know you're not committed. So if I talk to you today about this girl I met on Friday, and then tonight I'm going to tell you about another girl I met, you're going to say, this thing, he's not committed to nobody. He's just having fun. That's what they see in a lot of you. So when I say it to you, Ms. Smiles, I'm saying it because you're talking to me, not that you're doing that. Does that make sense?
Oh, that makes a lot of sense.
Okay.
Thank you for that.
I have 7 people with me from 7 years ago. That's what I'm talking about, Sean. Hey, where are you from? Look, I'm going to have to come recruit you. I'd like to put you in a part of my vision for what we're doing. Okay.
Hey, I'm already in your vision, Mr. Golden.
Thank you,
I'm also always in your heart, my friend, as you are in mine.
Bless you, my brother. Bless you.
Keep it going. Let's go.
Yes, sir. Okay, let's get to number 3. Let's get to number 3 because you deserve it. You have part of the story. You have 2/3 of the formula. You deserve the final 1/3, which is essential. Now, before I give you this one, I want you to get this. Most have taught you that this is the only formula. Let's take a look. All right. Whoa, oh Lord, I'm trying to help him here. Will somebody help me? Whoa. All right, I'm done. Okay, no more Dwayne Church. Ready? 70% on the development phase. As a leader not with his words or putting his car, his house in the front, but a leader through substance is equipping people for this third D. Let's take a look at that. D number 3, and it's not Dwayne. It's so powerful that this model, what was I doing? Okay, sorry, I jumped my gun. Let's see. Okay, there we go. It's so important. Religions, governments, sports teams, parents, everybody does it this way. And it looks like this. Even the military's done it, right? Entities of all kinds, colleges, universities. We don't reinvent the wheel. No, no, no. So here it looks, here we go. Many workers begin here. It is the wrong place to begin. It's called the deployment process. You deploy people out. I remember joining the military. You know, when you join the military, they don't send you off to Desert Storm, Vietnam. No, no, no. You've got to go. You must first be recruited, pass the ASVAB to make sure you qualify. You have to first be qualified before you get on the front lines. Then they send you to basic training or boot camp or, you know, whatever the courses are. Then from there, you go to AIT, which is your specialized training. They spend 70% of their time training you. Colleges do it. They may come to your school, your neighborhood, and try to recruit you. When they recruit you, they send you off for 4 years to learn something. Then they deploy you out into the world to get your jobs. I mean, it happens everywhere else. But at home business, we want to reinvent the wheel. We want to tell people to get a list and then to send them out to go recruit people, and they don't even know anything. I mean, they don't know a thing. Someone asks them, so how's it all work? Well, I don't know. Well, how much did you make? They don't have any answers to anything because they've not been equipped. This is why the deployment is last. The deployment, it must come only once they've been discovered and developed. It has to come after discovery and development. Now that should be an aha moment for you. Now, so this process doesn't require much, but shouldn't be more than 15%, up to 15%. And it cannot come before someone's discovered, and it cannot come before they're developed. If it does, no wonder there's some financial issues. Your business has probably been costing you more than you've been making. When someone has it backwards, when the deployment, trying to send people out to get new people comes before they've known anything, your business is more expensive than it is rewarding. This strategy is essential. It's been going on for centuries. It makes zero sense to flip it around and think you're gonna get something better. That's what's wrong with someone saying, hey, look, all you need is this special video. It's gonna bring all these people in. Bringing people in isn't where your problem is. Your problem is sustaining people to stay in. Your problem is in getting people to be committed enough to not dip their feet in the water. It's interesting. The guy or gal that told you no to go come at the highest level that they can afford spent 10 times that joining someone else in a company that doesn't even have a product. You thought it was something else, but it was the fact that they could smell that you're not committed. They could smell that you're not on anyone's front line. They can tell that you know very little because you're not developed and you're not developing, and they can get the sense you're gonna be better off somewhere else. You have everything to do with it. So as you deploy, don't you dare send someone out to get all of their family and friends' names and numbers, right? And so you can campaign to them. Don't you do it. Let's make sure we begin with first things first. Let's equip them so they can be great. Let's give them an opportunity to be successful, even if you don't want that opportunity. Don't be the parent that insists on more kids when they do nothing with the ones they have. Let's stop this madness. It's inhumane. Even animals will keep their young until they're done nursing, till they get to development. And how can we call ourselves businessmen and women and all we are is looking for new dates for the night? Don't we call it irresponsible if all a person wants from you is to spend one night physically, but yet they want nothing else to do with you? That's how bad it is when you sign someone up for something only to move on to something different or to sign them up into something else. There has got to be some core values here and what I call a true north. So deployment isn't first, it's absolutely last. Most of you have already deployed your people out to go get started and you haven't given them enough of anything. Heck, you can't even get them to show up for my training, let alone yours. You can't even get them to get anything because you brought them in the wrong way. You brought them in based on numbers. You only use the fact that someone else made this or the fact that it's Bitcoin. They never did commit to you. You never did commit to your business. And you thought you had a real problem. You don't have any. There you go, folks. 3 Ds. Deploy. You change the order like any other formula. You cannot change the formula and expect the same result. All I can tell you is for the last 20 years since I've gotten into this industry, I've been blessed enough to create movements that are based on this model. And my friends and those who've been a part of the things that I've done, we are still as close as ever. And many of them are still a part of that movement, not because of me, independent of me, but because of what we all have become in the process. And you deserve that kind of thing for you and your team. So now, what are you going to do with that? What are you going to do with that newfound knowledge? That setting people out, helping someone to make posts on their first day. Man, you better get in there. Tell you what, I'll tell you when to post. Get in there and learn, get orientated. Know what you have, what you're doing with it. Set up your wallet. Don't know what a wallet is? I have a special video that teaches you how to get a wallet, how to get a Cash App, how to get a Coinbase. I mean, we have to stop this irresponsible stuff. You know, if I don't teach my son and daughter properly about reproductivity, they're going to start having offspring too early and have them ill-equipped as well. And it's going to be this vicious cycle of rapid growth of nothingness when we can have growth of everything. Okay, now, just learned a lot. Thank you. Oh, you're welcome, my brother. So now, what do we do with this? You're leaders. Leaders aren't satisfied with learning. They're not. Leaders aren't satisfied with just learning. They're satisfied with application and outcomes and results. Because once they have outcomes or results, then they can provide it to others. They can say, look, for me, I said, look, I don't ever want to go across the stage without my team being with me. I don't want to make a fortune unless my people are making it. And you know who's going to make it first? Those who committed. I can't promise those who didn't commit anything. But those people, those 4 or 5 that I got to commit to me, oh, we're going. We're going there together. True story. Joe Reed, I'm going to bug you today. Embarrassingly, please forgive me. I met you 8 years ago at an Ingreso Cybernetico conference. You weren't there for us. You're there with Les Brown, was at another event and all that stuff. Now, I've never talked to you about my company. I've talked to you about business in general. And in that business that I've talked about, you're here today. But not only that, you're one of the top earners at Ingreso Cybernetico. You do apply such principles. Development means a lot. And I could say, even when well, anyway, to make a long story short, I want you guys to see something. It's so big. I'm going to give you a little hot tip. This hot tip, it's going to be very valuable. It's going to be so valuable, a lot of you are going to say, aha, I get it now. Did you know that the reason a lot of today's marketers who are unattached to the people that they serve, did you know one of the reasons why they have to spend tens of thousands of dollars in marketing campaigns is because they always have to find new people. Rarely do they work with the same ones. Rarely can they say, I have so-and-so who's already making multiple 6 figures or 7 figures a year. They can't say it because they can't say it. They have to constantly market to new people. They've already got your money. They don't have to come back and get you anymore. Besides, you already start deciding not to give anymore. They have to create these campaigns that wow people. It's already lunchtime. We've already made 42,000. We're shooting for 400,000 this month. And you didn't even know that they're stuck. If they stop, they can't go on. The income can't go on. Here's what's powerful about why I like the Jesus model. He only recruited 12. And with those 12, he didn't go for the 13th, 14th, or 15th. That's all he worked with. But he taught them in the morning, developed them on the seashore, on the ship, developed them in the night, developed them for 3 years. Now, every day around the world, people are joining his team. Centuries later. Over 200 centuries later. To me, that's not rocket science. And many have duplicated the same model. Trust me, I just showed you. Military, everybody uses it. You don't spend all the time recruiting. Could you imagine? A guy spends all his life finding new wives. All he does is find wives. He doesn't build families, he finds wives. Heck, why build a family? I can just find a new wife. Can you see the irony? Do you guys see the irony in this? The truth was never that far from you. It was always close by. God gave you that. Can you see that you already had the truth? Anyway, be a leader. Lead by example. Don't you dare lead in word. Some of you haven't committed yet. I'm amazed. You haven't even hurt yourself. Some of you have put more into cosmetics than you have your own business. And you think you got a problem. Why does everybody keep doing it to 25 and 50? Look, you didn't put much more into your business. But for me, I'd rather have a job. If I'm not going to go all in, I'm not going to put $5 to $10 in my company and expect it to pay me millions. I'm going to tell you something. You want to know what you're making? I can tell you what you're not making by what you've put into it, what you've invested into it. I said it. Yeah, it's supposed to hurt. You're supposed to feel it with your time. Watch this now. With your mental capacity, you're supposed to be stretched mentally and financially. Some of you think you're getting by just by stretching mentally and with your time, and you didn't put the finances in yet. You think you're trying not to pay your sponsor. This has nothing to do with that. It's all about you and always has been. You tell me where you spent your money, your time, and your mental capacity, I'll tell you what you're an expert at. I'll be able to tell you exactly what you're successful at. Mm-hmm. 168 hours in a week. And I will tell you, where I see where you put that, that's where you're successful at already. You're probably great at your landscaping. It probably looks beautiful. You probably spent $10,000 in your landscape. It doesn't pay you, it just looks nice. But your business, which is supposed to pay you when you retire, you threw pennies at it. And you're mad because it doesn't pay you a fortune. There's some bad news headed for our millennials and our Zs. Not because they're bad people, because people aren't telling the truth anymore. So therefore, they're going into everything blind. I want you all to make sure you don't be a part of that. Make sure you can expel some truth. For me, I give my all. And there are many nights, even in September, that I've worked all night long for what I believe in. So I don't just come stretch myself mentally, also financially. I give my all financially. Beautiful thing, once you really learn this stuff, you know it doesn't go anywhere. All you're doing is planting seeds, and it comes back even tenfold. You don't mind anymore. Lastly, I didn't just spend my time and my money, but my brain. I stretch it. I'm not going to let a day go by without pouring more into it so that I can be what I need to be for you all. Some of you in countries where water is very difficult to access. Some of you with families where some of your people in your family have to sell their bodies just so you can eat. I cannot afford not to go all in. You deserve a chance to experience the fact that you're just as important as someone else that lives somewhere else. How do I demonstrate it? I'm leading the way by giving my all in everything. If you want to have those kind of results, you give your all at what you're doing and stop tiptoeing. Okay, that's it. Before I go, I'll take some questions. If you have any, we've already been, we're 1 hour in. Any comments or questions, I'll take it or I'll just leave. I send my love to each of you. I sound harsh, but I'm not. But if someone doesn't stand up and scream this stuff, you're all going to walk away without the truth, and you deserve it.
I got a question.
Keep screaming.
Who's got a question?
Sean?
John, yes, sir. Please.
Why are you so great?
Britt?
Why are you so great?
Oh, I'm not great. Actually, it's an appearance. I actually represent people who are greater and more important than I. It's a principle my dad taught me as a young man. He told me if I ever want to be great, I better become an excellent servant to people who are more important. So it looks to you like I'm great, but I'm actually not. I'm serving a core group of people around the world who are more important than I am. I've already lived my life for the most part. So that's why it comes off that way, Sean, but thank you. It's more or less a reflection of you, my brother. Bam, gotcha.
Hey, Dwayne, thank you so much. Quick question. I only got 3 Ds. You said it's 4?
No, I didn't. No, there's 3.
I thought you said the 4. I thought you said the 4 Ds. Okay.
No. I said Dwayne Golden is not a 4. My name, Dwayne.
Oh, okay. Okay, gotcha.
No, I'm not in that at all. I'm not in the number, man. When this stuff was created, I had nothing to do with it, right? I only adopted what already existed for centuries, and I'm sharing with you all so it can go somewhere. So
thank you.
Christina Mack, amazing advice, mentorship, always. Oh, God, luck. All right, cool beans. By the way, were you finished, Jim? I didn't mean to cut you off. Jim from California, did I cut you off?
Yeah, you did, but I'm used to it.
Okay. Yes, sir. You got bigger muscles than me, so it's all right. Anyone else? Blessings to all you guys. I see what you're saying. Mary J. Mary J's up in the house. Well appreciated to have you here as well. I pray you guys apply it. Really, I can't tell you enough how much this will change your finances more. I've always tell people, if I sponsor 5 and you sponsor 100, I will beat you at the end of 30 days. My team will be bigger and stronger because I'm going to plug in the 70% of development. I'll take those 5 and develop them so much that each one of those 5 will have 5, which will give us 25. But when those 25 get 5, that's 125. I'm already past you. But by the 4th week, that 125 will grow their 5. Because you understand what I'm doing? I will have over 600 people, 625 at that point. I already know how to do this thing. I just want you all to learn there's more to it than being busy out there and recruiting people, no matter what all these people in these things are telling you. You can build it based on real numbers, real math, and real human lives at the other end. You don't have to rip people off to be successful. Everybody can win. Thank you. Riz, excellent presentation, Dwayne. Yes, sir. Blessings to you. All right.
Hi, Dwayne. It's Noreen. You know I have to say something.
Okay, go ahead. Yes.
So how would you deal with somebody, because this information is so vital to, for progression, and I've got people who because they're not seeing the money coming like a daily passive, they're not realizing what they've got here. How would you deal with people like that?
I'm going to slow down a second. So some of the people that aren't seeing money in day one, they haven't even gone in day one. So I personally, as a leader, if they didn't commit to me, it means they're looking for money in day one. That's for starters.
Okay.
Right? Everything that pays in day one isn't necessarily paying in day 17. I'm like this. Noreen, if I ask you to be a part of my movement, we are going to, I will not rest unless every one of us is making at least 6 figures, over 100,000 a year. At a minimum, that's what I'm going for. But in order for that to happen, you've got to be committed. And if you're going to be committed, here's where I've committed, right? The highest level is over 12,000. I didn't have that. But you know what? I stretched. I put off getting my car fixed. I put off this, and I came in at 2,400. I showed them that I committed. That's number one. Number two, through development, I'm going to duplicate. Are you one of my 5? Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this 5, and in 30 days, I'm moving from the day you start to help you try and make sure you can get over 500 people on your team like I'm going to do. They didn't have enough information when they started. They started and said yes to money. You can't be upset or disappointed or curious when they want to know where the money is on day one. Get them to commit to their life and to their future. How can you do that? Find out what is they're looking for. So why would you join a business? What are you looking to get from joining a business? They'll say, really, to be honest with you, it's been really tough. Through the pandemic, I've lost my work. I'm doing a lot of things out here. Nothing's really working. I need to get my family up to like 3,000 or 4,000 a month. Now, when they answer that, now I can work with them because I didn't just talk at them. I engage them so they can equip me. Now, watch how this works, Noreen. 3 to 5, huh? Okay, I believe I can help you with that. Where are you now in position? I can help you with my company. What we're doing is I'm going to take this provider that offers us different software and get licenses. I'm going to help you to be able to turn that into payments directly to you. How much do you have to get started with? I recommend the highest level you can afford. That's the only way to make this real money. What level are you going to get started at? Now, when that happens, trust me, what doesn't come out of their mouth the same day or the next day is, I'm not going to make money. No, you're committed now. I got this set of trainings you're going to go through so that you can do this, so that we can duplicate. I want to help you to get your 5 people in the first week. I can't do that if you skip the training. Yeah. That's how it works. That's how Deborah met me somewhere else and ends up at my house. I practice what I preach. I would never ask you guys to do this if it's not something I do. So that's how it works. I wasn't, by the way, I'm passionate, so it probably sounded like I was yelling at you, and I wasn't. I'm just kind of.
No, I'm used to you now. I'm used to you now.
Yeah. But does that make sense to you, my answer?
Yeah, definitely.
They're not working in a dissatisfaction with you or your business. They're not working because they never got invited to the ground floor. Yeah. Watch this now. You have an advantage. You're from England. All you people from the UK, your accents gives you, everybody around the world believes that you guys just know more because of your accents. You got to use that. Hello, my name is Noreen, and I have this great business, and I'm only allowing 5 people to enter in. If you join me for a spot of tea, I want you to know that all of us. See the difference? I would tell them, I'm only going to work with 5. You can be one of them. You want to do that? I will help you with my entire being. Not like Mary Poppins. So, I'm being silly. But you get my point. You got the person.
Yeah, I get you.
Your commitment to your business and their commitment to theirs.
Yeah, I think I'm going to say it in a different way now. And are you committed? And are you really?
Yeah, ask them to commit. If they're committed, you got to first engage them before they sign up. So when someone's signing up, so here's what I'm asking you to do. Right? There's enough magical businesses out there. That's a reason. Now, I'm not afraid to say this. You have to get the guts to say it. The reason you've been joining so many programs over the last few years is because of this problem. So I don't want this to be a part of all those one things you're joining. I want you to commit to 1 year so I can assist you in creating money like you've never seen. That's going to require a 3-part commitment. That's going to require your time at minimum 1 to 2 hours a day. That's not much, right? 1 hour a day is like 7 hours a week. My God, what can you learn? Not many of you never put in 7 hours into your business in a week, but watch how powerful this is. I also want you to commit financially. There is no business in the world that's going to commit to you to the tune of a few 100,000 a year or $1 million a year when you're not committed to it. So I'm telling you now, the only way to get that is to commit to it. What level you're starting at. Lastly, your mental capacity. When you do it, you're not just going to do it because you invested. You're going to do it because you became something and you know how to do it so we can duplicate together. Me and my 5, we will walk across the stage of the company. We will demonstrate to the world how great we are. And you do it with your English accent. They're all going to fall to their knees and say, okay, I'm not worthy. You get what I'm saying, Noreen?
Yes, totally. Yeah. English accent.
Wow, Robert.
I'm going to brush up on my Queen language, the Queen accent now.
God, just put on the tiara and go.
Yeah.
Robert, I love it. Let's do this, brother. Whenever you get time, let's work together. I want to see you minimize that. I believe you can do it with just 2 or 3 hours a day at the most. It's about, we're going to work smart and leverage that into helping you to create some model to develop people. God, by the way, guys, you don't have to develop people. I make all my trainings related to anything available on YouTube. You can download it, put it in your own training. You don't have, but let's leverage your time so that it's paying you more. And the more developed your people are, the greater results you're going to get. Cool. All right. I didn't mean to, I wasn't making fun of you guys with the English accents. I was actually honoring it. I think it's the most amazing accent in the world. Okay.
How dare you?
Thank you for that.
Hey,
Mike.
Dwayne, just one thing, mate. I've done sales all my life, and one thing that I've always thought is I've always been used to painting a picture
Right.
in a person's mind. This is where my journey is taking me, and I want you to come with me, and this is what you'll get. And the development side, mate, is just awesome. You know, there's no multi-level marketing out there where they teach you these things. You know, it's always a case of go out there, get hundreds of people, thousands of people. You'll make millions, and you'll retire one day on a sunny beach and wherever. You know, and this is something that's really going to help us push it forward.
Yeah, if you think about it, millions are made. They just didn't tell you it wasn't going to be for you.
Yeah.
Right? You become leverage. The money that you and thousands of others put in is making millions for someone else to buy their own private jet. But the real truth is, I mean, the real power comes when now you can build wealth for yourself using that vendor or that third-party company. That's where the power is at. So yeah, good stuff. I love it, Riz. Thank you.
Nice one.
Anyway, I promote downline. Okay, I love it, Robert. I love it. I love it. I love it. So you guys, I mean, you get it. So, let me see. I want to do it. I have with, yes, very good. So you guys do get it. I just want you to, it's so easy to fall into it. Don't get lost in these posts you see all over social media. 90% of them are full of, I'm being honest with you. You don't even know it. I know the people because all of them come to me. I swear to you. But some of these people you see that you see them driving their fancy cars and all this stuff, they're trying to figure out, they're just jumping. Some of these people, they're in their 6th company this year. If they really were that good and had that kind of money, they wouldn't be doing it. But they make each of the newbies think that they have it. So the newbies come in and then they I just want you all to be able to have your own success. It's not enough for you to hang on the coattails of everyone else. You are alive. You've already been alive for many decades. You deserve for you and your family to see some outcomes. That's all. That's why I'm making this noise. Not to expose or put someone else out there. I want you to have your shot without hurting a soul. In fact, by helping many souls. All right. Woo! All right, I think we've gotten there. Anyone else? We're good now? I think we covered everything. Boss, I quit. Mr. Muscle's up in the house. Boy, he let me have it, didn't he? He said, I'm used to it. Okay. I think we got it all. All right. God bless you guys. See you next week. I think it's Wednesday if I'm not traveling. I should be back by that's the 1st of the month. I intend on to be. If not, it'll be Thursday, but certainly we won't miss our leadership circle, no matter where you're from, what part of the world, what type of business model you have. I know some. I spoke with, I think, one who actually has his own medical billing company. Doesn't matter what you're doing. Success principles, the ones that are given by God, they work for everybody, no matter who you are, where you are. So be sure to apply them. God bless you guys. Have a great day in the world where you live. Take care.